Hello, this is Tom Prendergast. I am the CEO. I'm also the CMO and probably many other things at Markethive because primarily we are a startup company. We are based on a vision that goes back, oh my God, it goes way back. I mean, even to the point where I was 9 years old, where I was counting grass in the backyard with friends, and I got a story about that, where I was envisioning or foreshadowing how this huge number of people could actually become subscribers, paying like $1 a month to not only build amazing wealth, but to be able to distribute amazing benefits to a huge population of people. That was 50 some years ago. And here you are today with Markethive, the ecosystem for entrepreneurs. This is a system that has been literally in the works for 20 years. It kind of is the resurrection of an older system called Veretekk. We raised a lot of money to build this, and we're about 4 years into building it. We're very close to completion. Markethive really is all about culture. Even though it's built, has a very sophisticated, state-of-the-art inbound marketing system, it's more along the lines, and its power is in its culture. And a culture is the collective manifestations of people's intellectual achievements, our habits, our innovations, our music, literature, technology, and the arts. This is culture. And this culture is what drives Markethive. Therefore, Markethive really is not a static system. It's a fluid system. And when you build something like this, it's impossible to compete against, because by the time you stick your tack on it, what it is, it's not there anymore, right? We are at the forefront, maybe the leading edge of our culture in the world today of entrepreneurialism. You see entrepreneurialism in everything happening today. The typical job market's going away because it's being replaced with automated functions and artificial intelligence. Lots of jobs are being outsourced to lower income, smaller countries. And in that, the spirit of the entrepreneur is growing in all of us, and it's going to be required. And our culture is, we are founded by entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur, and everybody that I work with is. We are. So basically, we've been founded by entrepreneurs. We are built by entrepreneurs. We are built for you, entrepreneurs. We are run by entrepreneurs, and the system is used by entrepreneurs. This truly is classic. We are the rise of the entrepreneurs. And then we have our commitment to create a social network made exclusively for entrepreneurs, not people looking for jobs, not employee-employer relationship. I'm talking about the innovation leading edge of entrepreneurialism, integrated with a state-of-the-art inbound marketing technology. And no one else offers that like we do. I invented it 20-some years ago, called automated marketing, with a company called Veretekk. We have fine-tuned it and fine-honed it. And we're offering it at no cost to the entrepreneur, to our subscribers. Its revenue is exclusively driven by advertising. And that advertising, we share 50% of that revenue back to our Markethive subscribers. So we're giving you the system for free, and then through a series of processes, we then start paying you back the revenue, up to 50% of it. And we also have, part of that system also gives you advertising clout by it's like a club. You subscribe and you get advertising for a third of the price that you would normally pay. Imagine Facebook saying, hey, pay us $100 a month and your advertising, we give you a 50% discount on your advertising. I should be quiet about that. I don't want them doing that. We are obsessed. I think you could probably tell already just by listening to me. As the founder, I am the leader, the visionary. I've been operating under a state of urgency over 20 years to prepare. Ask anybody. I definitely have keyboard impressions in my forehead from falling asleep at my keyboard, because I work all the time. And it's not that I feel like it's drudgery. I work all the time because I'm so inspired I can't think of anything else. So I can prepare a social home and have an arsenal of technology, inbound marketing tech, for this coming renaissance, the coming rise of the entrepreneur. And folks, basically, it's here. Entrepreneurialism is to our culture as the Renaissance is to innovation. And innovation is that DNA of our entrepreneurial revolution. Our inspiration is the drive that empowers our subscribers. Excellence is the fuel that we use to build our network. Yes, yes, yes. We're getting to the statement. I know. Almost all CEOs kind of like struggle over this whole mission statement business because it seems so unnecessary to us because for most part, most CEOs are consumed with the day-to-day demands and the short-term and long-term focuses of getting things done. But it is important to develop a mission statement because it becomes the core of your reactor. But first, of course, the classic commercial. A little about the history that leads up to the building of Markethive, how the internet, technology, advertising, and marketing, the culture, anchored in the 1980s, has led to the Markethive vision. Well, this is true. Leading up to Markethive has been several decades of amazing things that I've been through. The agency. I've been an artist my whole life. I have always been an entrepreneur my whole life. I have never, for the most part, had a job. There's a caveat to that, two exceptions. One, in 11th grade, I worked in the oil fields. I made $60 an hour back in 1969, 1970. It was a great experience to totally convince me I wanted nothing to do with it. It was a horrible experience as far as having to get up in the morning and go deal with toxic chemicals, gasoline, oil, benzene, paint strip. I mean, it was a hard job. Made me a lot of money. Of course, I squandered it because I was only 16, 17 years old. But the point is, that's it. Then there was one other stint where I had a business failure, moved to the Bay Area, and I needed to get a job just to get some money together so I could kind of get on top of getting my next business started. And I went and got a job as a salesman selling leather apparel at a shopping mall. You want to know what the biggest problem was there? I outsold everybody else combined. I mean, there was 5 salespeople. I was the 5th one to be hired. I sold more leather and made more commissions than the other 4 combined. They resented. So what does the owner do? She cuts my commissions in half because I was making too much money. And I eventually got fired because I was disruptive. This all led to the Bay Area. And so as the 80s began, prior to that, I had a really great thing going with my scrimshaw and my artwork. I was selling like crazy. I was making lots of money. The recession hit. I moved to the Bay Area. San Francisco Bay Area back in the 90s, or the 80s. And I started an ad agency in 1984 right there in Palo Alto and gathered tech companies as clients like Amdahl, Apple Computer, Adobe, Epix, Fairchild, Gateway, Oracle, Qualcomm, Silicon Graphics, and a lot more. It's like the who's list. I mean, I started out with Apple when there were 7 employees. I met Wozniak and Jobs in the office, pitching them on some direct mail thing. And because of those companies, I was aware of many trending technologies like PostScript. Before you knew what that was, I knew it because I was working with Adobe. The portable document format. The founder of that had a little small company before Adobe where that was the primary thing he had. Virtual reality. I actually experienced virtual reality at Amdahl. This was one of their R&D things. But most noteworthy was I was introduced to the internet from being at Stanford, and I actually started using the internet's many benefits like email and FTP back in the 80s. And the technology. So 10 years of advertising and marketing during the crazy Silicon Valley days of the 80s for the technology sector that was Silicon Valley laid a unique foundation to drive the vision of making marketing, powerful marketing automation, available to small companies, startups, mom and pops, meeting and working with the movers and shakers. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. I met Bill Gates at it was a cocktail party at the De Anza College when Steve Jobs released or did his thing with the Macintosh. Michael Katz, he's still a good friend of mine. Michael Katz was the CEO of Epix, and then from there he went to a really big game company. I forget their name. Hawkins, Stiles, Bushnell, the guy who did the Pet Rock and ran Commodore computers. And the list of these people is long, and I knew them all. I had no idea. Yeah, and I worked with Silicon Graphics. So I had tapped into something earth-shaking and revolutionary. And that day in 1984 at the De Anza College, where Steve Jobs revealed the Apple, there was, I met so many people at that party afterwards. It was, I mean, that was a really big deal to me. It really changed things. And basically, and I look back, that's where the very beginnings of Markethive was poured, the foundations. The cultural shift. We have gone through a huge cultural shift from the 80s to today. In the short span of time, from the tech revolution of the 80s, when we had telephones, our cell phone weighed like 10 pounds and it was the size of a brick, the NEC 9100s. They were like, well, before that there was the Panasonic that was kind of like a little suitcase with a telephone in it. And you actually had cell phones that were installed in your car. Dude, I don't know if anybody remembers that. So, but a whole new set of values and focus has emerged from those days to now. And a lot of people look at it and they're not quite sure how this applies to anything, but you look at the chalkboard then and now. Focus was then, it was pensions, now it's purpose. Then it was good boss, now it's great colleagues. Then it was the hours, now it's whenever. Then it was the workplace, office, now it's wherever. Back then the tenure was a whole career thing, now it's whatever. It's truly entrepreneurial. So the www finally came about to being open to everybody. And I entered into it in June of 1992 with the Mosaic as my browser. I think it was a 1900 baud modem, a Mac 2CX, and I bought my first domain. It was expensive. Within 3 years, I was making over $60,000 per month. I joined UCSD and became a legacy member of the Supercomputer Center and built Veretekk. Now, that was a really big deal because at UCSD's Supercomputer Center, you had all of the great entrepreneurial-oriented engineers working, and a lot of companies came out of that little code. One of them was the company that got in a lot of trouble for ability to upload, download MPEG music, which spurred today what we have as Rhapsody. That was the Supercomputer Center, and I built Veretekk there. That's where the first automated marketing system was invented. Was there? I came up with the ideas. I actually had a desk there. There was other engineers there that helped me learn how to do CGI, and there was no such thing as SQL database, but to create databases using text files, and I learned HTML, all that stuff, the basic stuff there during my tenure. And so when I built the first automated marketing system there, it was basically the foundations of inbound marketing technology that we know today. And by the time of all that, I had already acquired 1 million connections, developed connections. Within the launch of Veretekk, within just a couple of years, we already had over 1 million connections. Today's work status. Today, people and culture have dramatically changed how you live, work, and purchase, travel, learn, vote, everything. It's all changed. Our current network society is a product of the digital revolution and some major socio-cultural changes. One of these is the rise of the entrepreneur. You see this everywhere you look, marked by an increased focus on individual growth and a great decline in community, work, job, home ownership, etc. Social relationships are being reconstructed on the basis of individual interests, values, and projects. You see this everywhere. I can work anywhere I want. As an entrepreneur, I don't have to live in Wyoming to work. Just like my partner, Stephen Hodgkiss, he's in the UK right now. He's going to Romania. It's just, how's he going to move everything? I mean, he's like my partner. He does all this work. He doesn't have to live in the UK to do it. He's moving to Romania. It's a lot lower overhead. It's a quieter culture. There's more serenity. It's a nice change of environment, which is much more inspirational for the type of work that we do. He's packing up right now. He leaves in a couple of days. You couldn't do that 20 years ago. Today, you don't want to be connected. You don't want a mortgage. Mortgages, our younger generation, they want nothing to do with them. Because maybe I want to go move to the Grand Cayman Islands. Maybe I want to move to Argentina. Maybe the family and I want to move to Madagascar or New Zealand. With everything in the cloud, the way that we've got things now, I can live anywhere I want. And isn't that really what, as entrepreneurs, we want to be able to do things like vote with our feet, right? Vote with our wallet, and vote with our vote. As an entrepreneur, we have a lot more influence. Our vision, after 20 years of innovating, building, and running Veretekk, the world's first automated marketing platform, we launched it in 1994, that produced 150 million subscribers in its lifetime. Amazing. That vision to build a free social network within a state-of-the-art inbound marketing platform, fully integrated into a modern vertical network for entrepreneurs, was born. And here we are today. So, the mission statement. Yes, I know. I'm kind of like a dog walking around in a circle getting up to my point. The time came for our mission statement, and since I am the founder, I'm the founder, visionary, architect, venture capitalist, mentor, and speaker, as well as CEO and CMO, the job obviously falls upon me. Do you know what that means? Geminate, I like that word. It means to repeat, but with emphasis. So, to ingeminate or not, to repeat somebody else's vision with emphasis or not. As I worked at that special glib-catching statement, Steve Jobs, an old associate from the Silicon Valley days, and he is my greatest hero, his words kept haunting me, and finally I succumbed and realized I cannot say it better. So, our mission statement is his echo. You know, it's amazing. As an anecdote here, his mission statement that we're going to use was based on the echo that he felt that he built Apple upon, the history of round pegs and square holes, of like Einstein's and Sister Teresa's and all the people who were a little bit crazy, didn't quite fit into the status quo, but changed the world. And he gave them the credit for Apple. So, in that essence, I'm giving him the credit for that vision. Here's to the crazy ones. It relates to us. It relates to the entrepreneurs. It relates to our culture and to the way things are today. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Now, who does that apply to? Well, you know, I have a very high IQ. So does my wife. My IQ is 168. I am considered to be crazy. I don't fit in the holes out there. I'm completely, I mean, even where I live here in Wyoming, people don't know, you know, they don't know how to categorize me. Is he a mountain man? Is he a cowboy? I mean, he drives a big truck, but nobody knows how to deal with me, even in this little small cowboy town. We are all like this. None of us fit into any kind of mold. Well, you can apply this also to, I mean, I'm going to mention Donald Trump, because he's crazy. He's a rebel. He's a troublemaker. He's a misfit. He doesn't fit in the holes, and neither do any of the other people I know who are entrepreneurs. This applies to us all. Right, cultural wisdom. We speak the truth and face the facts. It's the smartest way to go through business. You will never succeed in anything, a marriage, a friendship, an athletic pursuit, if you are deceiving yourself. You have to be honest to yourself and to others. Speak the truth and face the facts. It's refreshing. We invest in individual mastery and market value. We obsess over subscribers, not competitors. We are unreasonably selective about our peers. We are as maniacal of our tech as our mission. We are radically honest and transparent, and we are perpetually generous to all involved. This is a common thread you'll see in lots of tech, lots of innovation, lots of entrepreneurs, lots of founders, and a lot of things that are happening today. This is a core of how they operate. We give ourselves and our subscribers the autonomy to be incredibly awesome here in Markethive. We do not police you. We let the system evolve around you. We do not track you. We do not watch you. We do not deliver advertising to you based on your interest in what you search on the internet. We give you autonomy. So you can operate within that autonomy to perceive whatever you want to perceive and do whatever you want to do. I mean, there is some restraints. We don't want you, starting wars or beating people up or stealing. We are Markethive. Although the times change, cultures change, technology changes, politics change, people change, economies change, the entrepreneurial spirit endures. The rise of the entrepreneur has arrived, while other social organizations and inbound marketing providers are still frozen in time. And there is so much truth to that. It is hard to break the historic legacies of technology because it's so much more work. So they stay with it, and that slowly paralyzes them. I am aware of that, and I have broken that mold. Markethive has prepared for the rise of the entrepreneur. Markethive has been prepping for 20 years, developing inbound marketing technology. We have 20 years of experience doing that. 20 years. That is amazing. Our insights are huge. To deliver a culture built for entrepreneurs, to a spiritual revolution designed for entrepreneurs, empowering technology just for entrepreneurs. The entrepreneur that is gestating and driving to come forth, and you and everyone else. It's there. It's just waiting to come out. Our points. We speak the truth, and we face the facts. After 20 years of Veretekk, we realized we needed to start over. So we shut it down. That took a lot of chutzpah. And to thy own self be true. It was my baby. I had 20 years of my life in it. And I had to shut it down. So I had to face the truth. And I had to be honest with everybody else. And we did. And for 4 years we've been retooling. And we're about to launch Markethive. We invest in individual mastery and market value. What does that mean? From the first line of code, we have always pursued inbound solutions so entrepreneurs can reject the unethical practices of buying leads, spam email, spam calls, and spam faxes. And this has been my calling for over 20 years. We obsess on customers, not on competitors. Again, this is a very important point to understand the cultural foundation of what Markethive is. Customer centricity drives Markethive. We are positioned by giving our customers advantage. So we listen to our customers. We are our customers. We engage. We obsess. We jump in. We swim with our customers. And so we understand what, as a customer, needs. We are not driven by competitive comparison paralysis. And what that is, you see a lot of companies out there, GVO is an example. They focus on what other people are doing and they want, me too, I'm going to do that too. That'll work, I'll do that, me too. The latest thing that they've done that proves this, my point, is they're knocking off Dropbox. We don't want to be me too's. And you're not if you don't pay attention to your competitors. You pay attention to your customers. Jeff Bezos will tell you that of Amazon. We are unreasonably selective about our peers. In other words, the people we work with, the people who become our partners, either joint ventures or officially or whatever we work in and whatever our projects are. Being a social network for entrepreneurs, we find ourselves with the ability to seek our talent from our own cloud. I hardly ever have to go out and advertise it because I've got the talent right here in this very room. For marketing, engineering, support, legal, all of you have risen from Markethive. We are as maniacal of our tech as our mission. We strive for perfection. We will toss it out and do it over again. But we also understand that we have to deliver. And we know that perfection is not attainable. But we do know if we chase perfection, we will always catch excellence. We are radically honest and transparent. These are words hard to prove without history. But we have a lot of history. For 20 years when we ran Veretekk, when servers were down, we broadcasted the alert. We didn't wait for you to find out and contact customer support. We would broadcast people on what our issues were. In fact, sometimes our issues were so bad I would offer refunds to everybody. Like when we struggled with our email. Transparency is in our DNA. It is who we are. We are perpetually generous to all involved. We have a heart. We understand the struggle. Entrepreneurs, startups, aspiring, single parents, people with little revenue are in the millions, and we are your champion. Our system generates its revenue from advertising. It's a free platform to everybody. It's equally free to everybody. We make our revenue by selling advertising through the system and advertising types of stuff, and then we take that revenue and we give 50% of it back to our subscribers. That's amazing. That makes us different. We give ourselves and our subscribers the autonomy to be incredibly awesome. Markethive teams have lots of autonomy, including from people like me. In other words, I don't overlook you and say, are you doing the right thing? Don't do this, don't do that. Then we go through a process. You know us by who our mentors are. You can know us by who we respect and learn from. And so I have these great quotes. These are people who are my heroes. Steve Jobs. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Just do something that lights you up and lights up your customers and lights up the world and scale to that. Tim O'Reilly of O'Reilly Media. Some of these people you may have heard of, some of you haven't. Learn public speaking. Of all the skills that an entrepreneur can have, the ability to convey an idea with confidence and passion is the most universally useful skill. It's true. If you have that skill, you go much, much further in your business. They always say dress for the job you want, not the job you have. You probably heard dress for success, fake it till you make it. Well, I like this quote because it says just do the job you want, not the job you have. Don't fake it till you make it. Just be who you are and do what you want to do. If you do build a great experience, customers tell each other about that. Word of mouth is very powerful. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, another one of my heroes. Customer centricity. I actually think every individual is now an entrepreneur, whether they recognize it or not. Now, Reid Hoffman also competes with being at the top of that list with me, too. I love this guy. He's like, we're clones. Great companies are built on great products. Elon Musk, another disruptor, just a major entrepreneur, amazing guy. Again, this guy here, David Ogilvy, he could very well be my number one guy. He was my first guy. I was aware of him and reading his books and following what he said long before the tech revolution came. He's the father of advertising. He's the guy who did the Volkswagen ad, you know, where the whole page was white and there was just a little Volkswagen in the middle of the page. He's the guy who brought the Volkswagen to its great success back in the 60s. Hire people better than you are, then leave them to get on with it. Look for people who will aim for the remarkable, who will not settle for the routine. In other words, hire the very best you can hire, and then let them do their job. Don't micromanage people, and let them make mistakes. And take the publicly. I hire or bring a partner in, and he makes a mistake. I publicly will take the responsibility for that. I will protect those people because I want their innovation and that freedom. And that's what David Ogilvy taught. We are all entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle we prefer, the road less traveled. We love Mondays just as much as Fridays, when we even keep track of what day it is. We prefer hard work over sleep. We never give up, no matter how long it takes. We sacrifice what most won't, so we can achieve what most don't. We are entrepreneurs. I can't stress it enough, how important it is. The bottom line is you. After all, we all are entrepreneurs, and we are at your service. We aim to please, delight you in every way. What could be better than entrepreneurs serving fellow entrepreneurs? We know what works and what we need, and that is exactly why you are just as much of Markethive as we are. Markethive's cultural code. Again, it's on a chalkboard here. Speak the truth, invest in mastery, advance market value, obsess over subscribers, selective about our peers, tech fanatics, mission maniacs, radically honest, inherently transparent, perpetually generous, and culturally autonomous. The rise of the entrepreneur. Quoting Reid Hoffman, every individual is now an entrepreneur. I actually think every individual is now an entrepreneur, whether they recognize it or not. Average job length is 2 to 4 years. That makes you a small business. You are the entrepreneur of your own small business. Technology and globalization are forcing everyone to be more entrepreneurial. These words came out of his mouth in 2009. If we ever doubted anything, we know this for a fact. We are facing a revolution. It is just now getting going, and it is the revolution of the entrepreneur. Miha Pokajnik, who I met in 2007 when I went to Croatia, the violinist, he and I talked about this then, about the world is screwed up because it's run by bureaucrats and attorneys and sociopaths and narcissists. And the day is going to come where Miha and I laughed because we said the grown-ups, meaning entrepreneurs, artists, musicians, etc. We're going to take the wheel away and take over and get the world straightened out. Find the intersection of your strengths and aspirations and market realities, which is your goal as an entrepreneur. The stuff that you love to do, if there's no freeway to intercross in the market, then you have a hobby. But if you find something you love to do and you can intersect across that giant source of traffic and demand, you find success in being able to create wealth. Another very important, establish a small group of allies and a large network of acquaintances. And that's exactly one of the greatest things that Markethive does. And of course, don't risk more than you can afford to lose. Never bet the mortgage unless you have another house someplace to live. And then make Markethive your primary partner.